We are under a heat advisory now through Thursday evening, when our feels like temperature is going to be highest coming.
Hi, Allison.
Believe it or not, it's actually going to get a little bit hotter this week. Today's been really hot outside, don't get me wrong, but it looks like in the next couple of afternoons we end up seeing temperatures reaching closer to about 92 each afternoon. So I know it's just a degree or two of a difference, but that's going to make a big difference in this heat indices throughout the next several afternoons. Here's that heat advisory in place through Thursday at 8 o'clock in the evening. The hottest part of our days here moving forward going to be from about noon to about 8 o'clock each night. It is going to stay incredibly hot. I think from that time frame, it's about an 8-hour window that those heat indices could be close to 100 degrees, as high as 100 once we get to noon all the way through by 8 o'clock in the evening. So no reprieve. Even in the mornings, it's going to stay really warm outside. It's 89 now in Cincinnati. Temperatures are sitting at 91 in Hamilton, 92 in Harrison. West side, you're sitting at 92 degrees for your air temperature. Feels like temperature about 10 degrees warmer than that, sitting at 102 in Delhi. Feels like 100 degrees in Cincinnati right now. Feels like 102 in Hamilton, Harrison, 104. Areas of Warsaw feel like 103, but 103 in Batavia too. And these heat indices are going to stay up there throughout the next several days. Coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to show you which day I think actually has the potential to be the hottest day in terms of that feels like temperature. And then on top of that, we've got some thunderstorms headed our way for the holiday weekend. I'll show you an early preview of what you were looking at as we get into the 4th of July weekend coming up. Cherie? Days today alone feeling like close to 100 degrees outside. As we head into the next few days this week, it is going to feel even hotter than that. I'm going to show you which days I think are hottest, plus I'll have more on that weekend storm threat coming up. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right thinking about being outside in this for prolonged periods of time. That's not a good idea because it is just so hot and so humid outside. Even if you're doing something leisurely outside, you're going to notice a huge difference in the humidity today, even compared to yesterday, when it kind of felt like yesterday we got a little bit of a preview of what we're getting this week. But even this isn't the hottest that we're going to get all week long. Some spots, I think widespread, we end up seeing in the next couple of days, Tuesday and Wednesday especially, 100-degree feels like temperatures and higher than that. 97 right now in Cincinnati, feels like 99 in Wilmington so far this afternoon. Lincoln Airport's been one of the hot spots so far today. 100 degrees out there, so if you're thinking about going out for a run over by the Lincoln Airport, it is going to be so hot if you do so. 102 in Batavia, feels like 103 in Hamilton so far this afternoon. No reprieve either from any rain or anything like that. We had that isolated thunderstorm chance today, but that really has not happened at all. So we're just stuck with the sunshine and with the heat, and that's going to continue for several more days. So we are under a heat advisory just to our southwest, Louisville Metro, and then much of Kentucky for the western half of the state, at least Lexington and west, under an extreme heat warning because heat indices over toward Louisville could get as high as about 115 degrees. What we're looking at here in Cincinnati is a heat index value closer to 100 to 105 in the next couple of afternoons. So that means a lot of towns end up landing closer to 103 to 104, possibly that warm. But it is going to just be so hot over the next couple of days. We're concerned about heat illnesses moving forward. And there's also little relief coming in overnight too, because temperatures are only falling down into the 70s. So that means your AC is still going to be working in overtime, even into the overnight time frame. So as we head into the next couple of days, try to limit that outdoor time, especially during the peak heat of the day, which typically would just be from about 2 to 6 o'clock. But because this heat is so intense, it's really from about noon to 8 o'clock in the evening. Not until the sun sets do we start to feel a little bit of a difference in the air. And at the hottest part of the days this week, it looks like it's going to feel as warm as about 103, possibly as warm as 105 for some towns and neighborhoods. So tomorrow's heat index value is going to be up to 103, Wednesday closer to 103 as well, and then by Thursday closer to about 101 degrees outside. So if you've got little kids, make sure that they're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. Of course, sunscreen especially is going to be important as well. And then of course, if you have elderly neighbors, make sure you're checking on them and just kind of making sure everybody's doing all right. Heating or cooling systems are going okay, as we really are just going to be feeling this heat quite a bit So Futurecast, this tells a picture too. No rain in sight for us here throughout the day tomorrow. The earliest we see rainfall here in the next couple of days would be Thursday potentially. Now we've got weather impact days almost through the entire 7-day because through Thursday at least it's the heat because this heat indices reaching up to about 105 or 103 up to 105. Then starting on Friday we've got thunderstorm chances that are going to be around for the holiday weekend. With that off and on thunderstorm chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This does mean a chance for some thunderstorms for the 4th. Does that mean that we end up seeing thunderstorms at the Blue Ash celebration or your different neighborhood celebrations, Alt Park or anything like that? That remains to be seen, but right Thursday, those heat indices are just going to keep on reaching into the triple digits outside. So right now it feels like 97 outside in Cincinnati. Our air temperature is sitting at 89. This is actually the warmest that we've been all summer long, and we typically experience some sort of heat stretch like this, like what we're dealing with now. Upper 80s, low 90s, sometime in the summertime. And actually this year it's a little bit later than we typically would have already experienced. Wilmington right now sitting at 89 degrees. It's 99 for the feels like temperature there. So that's how hot it actually feels outside to you when you're out there, not even for a long period of time. 100 at the London Airport, Batavia sitting at 100, and Hamilton now with a feels like temperature closer to 103 degrees. So if you're doing any sort of outdoor exercises, afternoon is absolutely the worst time you could be outside because that's the hottest will be all day long. So this week you'll have to plan a little bit more strategically. Getting the dog walked first thing in the morning. If you're trying to cut the grass, do it closer to sunset or even first thing in the morning. If your neighbors don't mind too much hearing that lawnmower going off at 7 o'clock in the morning, this is one of those weeks where I feel like that's just kind of when you got to get it done. So we have the heat advisory in place all the way through Thursday evening at 8 o'clock for all of greater Cincinnati. There's an extreme heat warning just to our south and west. Now as temperatures warm up this week, we're going to see little to no rainfall. That changes as we get into the holiday weekend. So I've got two important timelines coming up when this peak heats and when this heat peaks, and then also when we see those holiday weekend thunderstorms. Sheree? At least through Thursday. Very little rain between now and then, but I am tracking some weekend storm chances. That does bring a little bit of a break in this intense heat, but also holiday weekend storm chances. I've got the timeline for both coming up. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back. It doesn't really matter this week because we've got such high temperatures paired with the high humidity that's going to be around as well. So really tropical feel out there. 102 for the heat index in Hamilton now, 99 in Oxford, about 106 in Harrison, 102 in Delhi. Temperatures feel like about 104 in Batavia, Loveland as well. It is going to be really hot outside. If you had plans to go on a walk after work today, try to push that back a couple of hours as late as 8 or 9 o'clock tonight if you can, just because it's going to be so intensely hot this afternoon and throughout most of this evening. Here's our heat advisory that's now in place. It went into effect at noon today. It's lasting until 8 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, or Thursday evening, I should say. And that heat is going to be a big story through Thursday. High temperatures reaching up to about 92 to 93 in the next 3 days. I think our heat really is going to peak tomorrow and Wednesday specifically. That's when heat indices look like they could be on average at about 103 degrees, could be as high as about 105. That's what the heat advisory is in place for, up to about 105 degrees. Thursday still looks like it's going to feel like about 101. But what starts to happen Friday is we begin to see some rain moving in here. Friday is still going to be really hot, 92 for our high temperature, but that rain chance on Friday starts to knock back the high heat in the afternoons a little bit into Saturday as well. So for the rest of this evening, feels like close to 100 degrees outside. By about 8 o'clock tonight, we start to feel more like 95. So that's what I'm saying. If you can wait until after 8 to go out on another walk this evening, that would really be ideal, especially if you're thinking about taking the dogs out on a walk or anything like that. And if you have to, try to make sure they're walking in the grass, not so much the pavement, because it's just so hot outside for them as well. Next couple of days too, we'll stay rain-free. Today, it's been pretty quiet outside. We haven't seen any rain out there. It's just been really, really hot. We had that potential this afternoon, but here on, I think high pressure is going to be too strong tomorrow and Wednesday to see any sort of rain moving through. So we'll start the morning off in the 70s. That's the other key factor to this heat that's going to stick around for a couple of days. We don't see a ton of relief in the mornings. Typically, we would like to see our temperatures fall down to the 60s this time of year. But the next couple of nights, we're only falling down to about 75 or so on average for our low temperatures. So AC won't stop cranking overnight as we head into the afternoons. Definitely not stopping in the afternoons either, with our temperatures reaching into the low 90s, and will stay sunny throughout the remainder of the day tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, we've got a busy day out. So if you're going out to the Noah Kahan concert at Great American Ballpark, it's going to be really hot for that one. We're topping out around 93 on Wednesday afternoon. Feels like about 103 to 105 outside on Wednesday. By the time we get to the Noah Kahan concert, it's still going to feel like about 98 degrees. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water if you're going to be doing anything outside for an extended period of time. Then we get into the holiday weekend and we have scattered rain and thunderstorms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At this point, too soon to say. First 90-degree day today, and that heat index was close to 100 degrees all day long at CVG. Some spots are past 100, and we're going to see much more of that throughout the rest of this week. It's 7 o'clock and it still feels like 98 degrees in Cincinnati. Wilmington as well, 99 at the Lincoln Airport. Batavia, 97, feels like 100 degrees still up in Hamilton. That's been typically one of the hotter spots throughout a lot of today. Hamilton areas right on the west side as well. It's just been sweltering outside for everybody. Here's that heat advisory that's in place through Thursday at 8 o'clock in the evening. We actually have an extreme heat warning just to our southwest that includes Louisville. That's where we're looking at heat indices reaching closer to 115. Here in Cincinnati, looks like our heat index is going to get as high as about 105 this week, but still incredibly hot out there. Next couple of hours still going to feel like at least the 90s through 10 o'clock tonight. By the time you're joining us back here for News 5 at 11, still feels like 86 degrees outside. So coming up in a few minutes, I'll show you which day this week I think is looking hottest and when we can expect to see some thunderstorms returning for the holiday weekend. Mike? It's still going to get hotter in the next 2 days with very little rain to talk about here for the work week. But as we get into the holiday weekend, thunderstorms return. I'll show you the timeline for when it's hottest and stormiest coming up. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back.
Few days.
It is. Next couple of days, we're looking at heat index values closer to 103 to 105 around town today. It was a good little taste of that. That's what we're going to be getting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well. Right now, the heat index is sitting at 99 in Cincinnati. So with that, that's how hot it feels outside to you. It's 7 o'clock at night, and we're looking at heat indices across town. Still in the triple digits for some spots, others sitting down in the upper 90s. Incredibly warm outside. No wonder we've got this heat advisory in place through Thursday evening for that matter. 8 o'clock at night is when that's going to expire for us here Thursday. Just to our south, this is an extreme heat warning that's in effect for a lot of the state of Kentucky. That's because heat indices that far south, actually not too far south, not too far away from us, reach closer to about 115 degrees. As high as possibly 115 for some of those spots throughout the Commonwealth. Here in greater Cincinnati, looks like our heat index is going to get closer to 100 to 105 in the next couple of days. I think tomorrow and Wednesday are going to be the hottest days that we experience all week long, with heat indices looking to be at minimum around 103 for a lot of communities. Now, as we head into the next couple of days as well, we're looking at that potential for some heat illnesses, heat stroke, things like that. So be very mindful of your body over the next couple of days. On top of that, too, we're not getting a ton of relief overnight. That's the other key factor with this. Our overnight temperatures are only falling down to the mid 70s most nights. So that's going to make those ACs continue to work in overdrive even as we start to cool off for the night and even into the morning tomorrow. I mean, your AC very well could just never cut off over the next couple of days. So it's going to be really hot outside. Afternoons, here's that peak heat. Feels more like 103 tomorrow, 103 on Wednesday. Keep in mind some neighborhoods, though, especially over toward Hamilton, Ohio, you could be seeing a higher heat index closer to about 105. So take plenty of breaks if you have to be outside over the next couple of days. You're a landscaper, construction worker, somebody who typically does work outside, postal service workers. This is going to be that serious heat that you want to take seriously. Once we get into Thursday, still looking at heat indices about 101. So even though I'm saying peak heat likely Tuesday and Wednesday, not a huge difference in what we feel on Thursday either. Tonight, not really looking at any rain tomorrow either. Looks like we stay dry for the rest of the night, into the day tomorrow, into the day on Wednesday as well. Beyond that, we start to feel some rain chances, or we start to see some rain chances trying to creep back in here Thursday. Looks like we start to see better rain chances Friday, Saturday as well. So as we get into the 4th of July weekend, There is going to be that potential for some rain out there, some thunderstorms as well for most of the upcoming weekend. Now, it's not looking, at this point, it's too soon to say when we see these storms exactly, but I do think as we get into Saturday, there's at least a chance for some thunderstorms here on the